Why people defend systems that once worked against them. History has a habit of producing one question that feels almost impossible to answer. Why would anyone defend a system that limited them? Looking back, it is tempting to imagine that people always recognized unfair systems for what they were. That oppression was obvious. That resistance was the natural response. History is rarely that simple. Most systems don't survive because everyone agrees with them. They survive because after a while, they begin to feel normal. If you are born into a world where certain jobs belong to certain people, where some languages carry more prestige than others, where one way of dressing is considered professional, you don't experience those things as decisions someone made. You experience them as reality. And that is one of the quietest forms of power. When a system no longer feels like a system, people stop asking who built it. This doesn't only happen in politics. Think about driving. There is nothing natural about driving on the left or the right side of the road. One choice had to be made. Once it was made, it became ordinary. A child grows up assuming that is simply how roads work. Social systems often become invisible in the same way. People adapt to them. Then they organize their lives around them. Eventually, they begin protecting the very rules they once had to adjust to. Part of the reason is practical. Human beings invest in the worlds they understand. If you have spent 30 years learning how to succeed within a particular system, changing that system suddenly carries a cost. The rules may not be perfect, but they are familiar. You know how they work. Your relationships, career, and sense of competence have all grown inside them. The alternative isn't just uncertain, it asks you to become a beginner again. And that is a difficult thing to volunteer for. History offers plenty of examples. Colonial legal systems remained in many countries long after independence. Colonial languages often became official languages of newly independent states. Administrative structures survived governments. Even school systems outlived empires. And it's not because everyone believed they were ideal, but because replacing an entire system is much harder than inheriting one. This is one reason revolutions often change leaders faster than they change institutions. People can remove a government in months. Changing the habits of a society can take generations. The deeper lesson is that familiarity has extraordinary influence over human judgment. Once something happens and becomes the background of everyday life, we stop seeing it as something that could have been otherwise. That is why history matters. It reminds us that many things we call normal are simply things we've become used to. Some deserve to stay, and others deserve another look. But the difficult part is knowing which is which, because the strongest systems are rarely the ones enforced by fear alone. They are the ones people eventually mistake for common sense.